Hey everyone, welcome to the Goofy Guy podcast. I am Jim Spangler, the Goofy Guy, your host, and this is episode number 134. We're on episode 134, and it is Disney news for September 6th, 2021. I can't believe it's September. I'm just disgusted. And with me tonight is my friend and lovely person that just returned from a Disney trip, but we're not going to talk about it tonight. You have to listen to a different podcast for that. Miss Mandy Corral, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing great.
Yeah,
still a little dream.
Yeah, still a little homesick.
Very homesick. Yeah.
Anybody that does Disney gets that homesick feeling. They just do. Yeah.
Oh, work this week was like pulling teeth. It's like a week ago, I was standing in line for Space Mountain a week ago right now, and it was like you do that.
Right. It's the truth. Yeah, that is the truth. That is exactly how it feels. It's just crazy. It is crazy. Well, I'm so glad you're with me this evening, because we definitely have some interesting news to talk about. Yeah. I was like, because I didn't do a podcast last week. Just some things happened that I just wasn't able to get it done. And so, so there is definitely some interesting news to talk about.
Why? I didn't look at a lot of news this week because, like I said earlier, I was trying to avoid it because it makes me feel homesick.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and if you don't know what we're talking about, book a trip, go, and then you'll understand exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah,
because it is like homesickness. It is like leaving home. It's horrible. It's a terrible feeling. Yeah. I totally agree with you on that. So hey, let's just dig right in because we have quite a few things to talk about this evening. So let's just jump right in.
Let's go.
Yeah. So this is not in any particular order because I just don't do it I just like make a list as I'm going, and sometimes I move things around. And so if you know the chronological order of this, if you're listening, just know that I don't care. Right? Because just as long as we can talk about it, that's all I care about. So, the Magic Kingdom always has interesting stories. And two came out this week. People never disappoint me. Never. No. They never disappoint me. Like at least once a month we have one of these stories. At least once a month. So
blows my mind.
Two women on the ferry on their way to the Magic Kingdom. It was like the last ferry of the evening. The last ferry. So it's late at night. Started a brawl on the ferry.
I'm sorry. And it's like, I hate to laugh because but it's hysterical. Like, for real?
So if you go to InsideTheMagic.com, they're the ones that reported it, and they have pictures. It is a riot. And, the thing is that, they were really going at it, and then somebody else stepped in, and of course they got sucked into it. So that's why I say brawl. It wasn't just a fight; it was a brawl. And the sad thing is that there are pictures of little kids that are like scared, that are like what's going on? They don't know what's going on. It's just terrible.
It's Disney World. Are you you can't contain that? You can't take, there's no part of your brain that goes, maybe
doesn't
this
matter.
Is not the time and place to literally beat someone up.
Yeah. Never disappointed. Never disappointed. I am just, I love it. Cause it's just so ridiculous. Right.
I mean, really? Well, so was there any indication of what the fight was about?
They did not say what it was about. They didn't have any of that information about what the fight was about. But if you go to Inside the Magic,
like a seat or
of course, you bumped
somebody
into me.
Looked at someone. Yeah, it was something.
Right.
And people. I mean, right. I get it. The end of the night after a long day at Disney, and your ears are hurting your head and your feet are super sore and you just like had to literally make it through a mob to get from like the castle to the front of the park. Like, I understand, we have all been there, but again, there's the switch in your head. That maybe
this was on the way, and this was on the way to the Magic Kingdom. This wasn't even coming home. It was on the way to the Magic Kingdom.
My, that makes it so much worse. I have no sympathy.
No, none. I am like, you get whatever you deserve there, because you deserve everything you got, because that is ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Imagine it's like, what if one of the kids on that ferry, they had just landed in Disney earlier that day and their parents were like, you know what? We're going to go in the evening
and we're going to catch the fireworks. Exactly. Yes.
And that was the first experience that child had going
it
to
is
Magic
it
Kingdom.
It makes me so angry when things like that happen. But it also makes me laugh, because I'm like, it's so ridiculous. Just over the top stupid. You know, I mean, they had to have been drunk or high or well, they may not have even been any of that. It was two women. It was two women. I mean, who knows?
Haven't you spent money on this trip to not want to like spend part of it fighting someone?
Isn't the point of going to Disney to get away from that stuff? I thought that was the whole idea.
Well, but then you get that, you know, there are people that like enjoy that kind of that truly look for it, that are just like,
absolutely, that grew up with it and they don't know any different.
And they probably went home and that was probably like a highlight of their trip. Like, they were probably like, there was this, you know what, and you know what, I didn't let them get away with it because this and this happened and I didn't care what was going on, you know.
And whoever they're telling is like, good for you. For you.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I'm glad you got her.
I don't understand that mindset.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't get it either, but c'est la vie, right? I mean, it is what it is. So, but it goes right into our next news item, that Tom Sawyer Island had to be closed because of a suspicious man with a weapon.
How is my question.
Well, so the interesting thing is, after I did a little research on this, it actually was, I think it was they said it was a teenager that had a fake hatchet. And so, but he looked suspicious and somebody said something. And so they shut the island down. I'm
picturing, like, have you ever seen Parks and Rec?
Mm-hmm.
You know, April's friend, Oren, the one with like the long, like, hair. Yeah. Like, I'm picturing him just like walking around the park. And you know, that's all I can think. And someone just got like overly cautious about it. And, you know, I mean, it's
I would rather have them, and I would rather have them be overly cautious about it than risk that. Definitely. Right. I mean, in today's day and age, you cannot risk that at all. You've got to, you know, you've got to make it, you got to pay attention. You just can't.
Especially someplace like Disney, where there's just so much that could go wrong. I mean,
that's right.
Especially on Tom Sawyer Island, that like little pocket, like just a bunch of kids. And like, I know a lot of parents that just let their kids run around because it's like it's like a burn off your energy place. Like that's
totally what you do. You go across and you're like, go have fun.
Be free. It's an island.
It's totally, and you can't do anything. You can't, you know, no, that is totally, you can't get away. I'll see you if you try to get away. So, no, that's what a lot of people do, right? Because they need to sit and relax, but their kids need to burn off energy. And so they go over there. It's one of my favorite places. I love Tom Sawyer Island because it's usually pretty peaceful. It's usually pretty quiet. And, you know, but anyway, that's all the crazy people for the week. Those are the crazy stories.
At least it turned out to just be something like a fake, like a toy.
And none of them were like Florida Man or Georgia Woman or anything like that. So that was good too. So I don't know if you saw this when you were there, but cast members have started handing out pamphlets talking about FastPass retiring. And what I think is happening, I know you probably didn't see that, did you? I think that's a pretty new thing, because it's been about a week since you've been there. So, so I think what's happening is because the Lightning Lane signs are going up, they're getting a lot of questions about what's Lightning Lane, what's going on, what happened to FastPass, you know. So I think they're just trying to preemptively stop all the phone calls and the visits to, you know, customer service to find out what's going on.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, because maybe you'll know more about this than I did. I don't know. FastPass was like happening while I was there. There were people in the FastPass line.
Okay. Like, I know what you're talking about. Those are actually people that have disability passes. And those people go through the FastPass line, and they are actually given a little pass. They're actually given a little pass to, like,
there were a significant amount of people. I was surprised at how many people were in the FastPass line, and I got confused. I was like, did Lightning Lane open and I just don't know about it? Like, what?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure that's what it is, because when I went with Julie, so Julie's going blind, and when I went there, she has a disability access pass because of her sight, and so we were taken through the FastPass line every time, and FastPass wasn't going on when we were there. So that's what's happening. That's what's happening. Good question. Good question. And hey. And we all know what's happening with Lightning Lane. If you don't know what's happening, go check out episode 133, because we talked about it. We have very strong opinions about it, with Genie Plus, and Lightning Lane. So I don't want to bring that up again. We'll talk. I'm working on a whole video about what Disney is doing and why they're doing it, that I'm working on right now. So, and my personal opinion of what's happening. So, but Lightning Lane signs are going up everywhere. Did you see any when you were there, or are they all still FastPass?
I think it was too early. It was all FastPass.
Yeah. So now Lightning Lane is popping up everywhere. And so if you go, you'll see Lightning Lane signs, and that's what it is. It's the new FastPass idea that they're going to do with Genie Plus. So everybody just needs to be aware of that. And, if you have questions, reach out, ask, leave a comment. I'm happy to respond and tell you what it's about, and share with you. So please don't hesitate to email me, Twitter, Instagram, whatever medium works for you. Feel free to reach out. So, some good news. Pog Juice appears to be back at Ohana's.
Yes.
Do you know what Pog Juice is?
Yeah.
Oh, so good. It's like so good. And I've tried to make it at home, and it's just not as good.
Oh, it's not the same.
Not as good. No, it's not the same at all. So Pog Juice. So I guess there was like a shortage, and there were lots of places that usually have and there were lots of places that usually have Pog Juice that no longer had it. And so of course, Twitter blew up, as soon as the first person said, "Oh, I couldn't get Pog Juice at blah blah blah,"
panic ensued.
Panic ensued. Oh my God, they're getting rid of Pog Juice. No, that's not what happened. They obviously just had a little bit of a lapse in getting it. So everybody breathe, take a deep breath. It's okay. Pog Juice is still around. And if you haven't had it, when you go down to Disney, make sure you get Pog Juice. It is so good. So good. Speaking of the Polynesian Village, the monorail station has reopened at the Polynesian Village. And I actually have a picture here to add. So this is the new station. It's not completely finished yet, but this is basically the new station. You can see the new colors, the new use of the brown on it. It's just not a boring station. You can kind of see the decorations on the other side that they're using on the outside, and then kind of the window type things. It looks really nice.
That's great.
It works basically the same as it did before, but now they've just upped it, right? Because they wanted a new Coach Couture, so they wanted a new entrance for it to match all the other nice entrances.
Right.
And this had to be a part of it because it is a part of the entrance.
Of
So yeah. So it looks beautiful. Thanks to wgwnt.com for this image. I appreciate it, being able to share it. And yeah, so there you go.
Nice.
That's the I even think the monorail looks good in it. I'm like, oh, the monorail even looks good.
It's true. I'm like, looks so sparkly.
It does look sparkly. It does. Yeah. I totally agree. Yeah, it is very sparkly. I like that. So and the nice thing is that the monorail, you couldn't even get on the monorail at the Polynesian Village for a long time because they were working on it. So it's nice that it's open. And it's finished enough that people can get back on that at that stop.
Yeah.
So Living with the Land. So Living with the Land had been closed for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you don't say.
Yeah, you didn't get to ride it, did you?
No, I was so mad.
Yeah, and that was the beginning. That you were there at the beginning of it.
Right when it closed.
Yeah, right when it closed. So it was closed for 2 weeks. And Disney was completely tight-lipped about why it was closed. They were not saying what happened and what they were doing.
I was so and I like looked it up and I found like the funniest memes. So somebody had like made a meme of like the Living with the Land sign, but it had the Spirit Halloween sign taped over it. Like
they're gonna make it the Haunted Living with the Land for Halloween. Is that what they're doing?
No.
Oh, that was dead.
Like how old closed businesses always end up like housing the Spirit Halloween like
right
like,
that's funny. That's funny.
So funny.
That's hysterical. I need to find that. That is a riot.
I'll send it to you.
That is a riot. I love that. So it's one of my favorite attractions.
I love Living with the Land. I've always loved it.
Yeah, I have too. It is truly the idea of edutainment. It's the true idea of it.
And not only that, but it's like perfect in the middle of like a really long day, like Epcot day, and you're just like, I just want a peaceful, like drifting through the plants in the garden. Like
that's exactly right. And get a cucumber if you want, or
Oh, I found it.
Got to go back a couple episodes if you don't know what that is. We talked about that a couple episodes ago. But I'm happy that it reopened. Word is that there was some maintenance that needed to be done, some unscheduled maintenance that needed to be done. That they were not, they weren't ready to do do a whole refurb.
Well, the weird thing about it was that all the boats. I sent you a picture.
I know. I know.
All of the boats were like pulled out in the front. Like it looked like they were like getting ready to take them out, do something with them, because like it was all boats were just like.
Oh, really?
Up. Yeah, it looked like it. I was like, this is bad. They're gonna get rid of this ride. Like they're gonna close it. Like it didn't even look like there was water like in the ride at all. Like I didn't get a good look at it, but from where I stood, it looked like it was green. Like I was like, whoa, what's going on? I mean, it might not have been, but that's what it looked like walking past it. So I was very, very worried.
Absolutely. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. There is the image of the Spirit Halloween over the Living with the Land. I love that. That is so brilliant. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's just just a masterpiece. So So hey, 50th anniversary signs are showing up everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like exploding now. Yeah. I mean, even the clock at the Main Street clock even got an iridescent paint job. So now that Citizens clock that's there now has that iridescent look. I love everything they've done for the 50th. I'm very happy with the way that they've decorated with all of it.
I don't know if I sent you like a Snapchat of me like seeing the castle or something. I burst into tears. I literally like came around like while I was coming in and I just went.
She looks beautiful, doesn't she? I mean, she looks beautiful. She is
no, it is
gorgeous right now.
absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, and at night, like it's just.
Yep. So
like
we were
themselves.
right when I was there. I was staying at Bay Lake Towers because that's my DVC home, and I went out in the early morning. The sun was rising. It was probably the golden hour, right? The morning golden hour is probably what it was. And I went across the walkway and I looked out, and she literally was glowing. She was like glowing. It was breathtaking, and I couldn't capture it in a picture. I couldn't make it work from where I was at. So she is looking beautiful. I love her right now.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. I hope they don't repaint her when this is all done. I hope they keep it the way that it is.
I love it. I love it. It's just, and I remember when they first painted her, and it was like pink, and that's really all that I could tell. I was like, oh, it's pink. Okay, it's pink. But then they added everything else. I was like, I see what their vision was. I see what gorgeous. They were doing.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
It is glorious. And, you know, the complaint that I've heard is that it looks too much like the Disneyland paint job. And I'm like Sleeping Beauty's castle. I'm like, I don't think anybody's going to confuse the two.
No. Yeah. There's
not going to happen.
Comparison.
Not going to happen. Yeah. There's no comparison. So but the signs are popping up everywhere. They're just, every time I get on any news channel, they're talking about more signs going up. I personally don't need to know when every sign is going up, but some people do, I guess. But that's exciting. Another exciting thing is that the beer garden, which I've never been to because it is meat heavy.
Me neither.
Yeah, meat heavy, not my thing. It is once again a buffet. So they've changed it back to its original buffet form. Now that's important because they're trying to get things back to normal, right? So that's why that's important. I don't know how they're doing it with everything that's happening in Florida.
I don't know how they're getting away with it.
Yeah, I don't know how they're doing it, but I'm sure you felt safe though.
Oh yeah, I felt fine. It was well again, it was empty.
Yeah,
it was empty. There's nobody there.
Yeah, exactly. So, which is nuts. It was
insane.
Yeah.
We'll
another
talk
piece
more about it. But.
Yes, we will. Another piece of good news is that they have started. I don't know what that is. They have started. Whatever. They've started envelope testing on Tron. Now, for those of you that don't know what envelope testing is, it's that they get a car. It's not one of the actual cars they're going to use, but they get a car on the track and they have a huge paper thing around it to see if the cars can get through without hitting anything. So they it's to check to make sure that there's nothing sticking out that they're not prepared for, so that people don't get hit and don't get hurt.
Well, I'm glad they're testing that.
Yeah, every roller coaster does it. And it's a very common test to be doing, and obviously very important test to be doing, right? Because you don't want anybody's hands up or out or anything and chop off a hand. That would be bad. Yeah, that's bad publicity.
It is really shaping up. That ride is really coming together. And so we rode the People Mover, and the People Mover takes you right over the construction site. You can look down into it and see all what they're doing. It is so cool to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can see the track now. You can see everything. It's really, really neat.
Yeah, it is. They're having an issue with I think they're having construction problems with like the walkway and stuff, because that seems to me to be taking a really long time, the way that they've got that mapped out, because it's a pretty complex series of walkways that they're wanting to do, plus the train going underneath it. So that I think is really the big last piece, besides the canopy lights, the plastic and the canopy lights. I think that's the last really big piece. We'll cross our fingers that gets done. Mid 2022, they're saying. So
maybe that's when I'll go back.
Maybe. Same with Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardian of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind is supposed to be middle of next year, if not earlier. They actually, I actually read, and I only read it one place, so I don't know how reliable it is, that like they are much further along on that than they expected to be. So it may actually be sooner than later.
Man, I hope so. Epcot is that it needs it. It needs that to all that. To
well, it's Walcott. It's Walcott right now.
It's
World,
just walls.
yeah, it's just walls. It is absolutely just walls. So. And Future World really is not my thing anyway. There are a couple of things I really like in Future World, but as a whole, it's not my thing. It used to be, but they've changed so much and taken away. And I don't like Test Track. I never have. That's just not my thing. I know people that love it.
The Imagination isn't like your favorite thing in the entire world.
The original Journey into Imagination was my favorite thing. Loved the original. The second version sucked. Scary bad. And this third version is not good.
It is.
It's better than the second version, but it is not
exactly
good.
Fine. It's fine.
Yes, that's exactly right. It is
no more, no less.
That's right. That's exactly right. So they're doing testing. They're doing annual pass holder rides on the Ratatouille ride. And so now they're doing those things, and reviews are kind of coming out about it, and most people like it a lot. I think the best review I saw, and I have not done any of the ride through videos because I refuse until I get on it.
I'm glad that you did that, because I watched them because I didn't know it was coming to Disney World. I was like, I'm never going to ride it. It's in Disneyland Paris. So then I watched the ride through. And now I'm mad I did, but anyway.
Yeah, it's okay. You'll still love it. It'll still be great. But the so the best review I got of it, and I'm saying this because I think people need to set their expectations correctly. It is not an e-ticket ride. It is. Let me repeat that. It is not an e-ticket ride. It is a D as in dog ticket ride. Right. It is not going to blow you away. It's not, it's not Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. It's good. It's a good ride. But if you're expecting to go in there and be blown away, that's not what this is about. So just be aware of that. It's a good ride, though. I've always heard it was a good ride. In Paris, I heard it was a good ride. So
so they were doing cast member previews when we were there. And I had two friends that worked there that both did the cast member preview on the same night. So two different friends.
Could they not take each other at all? Did they not get to take a friend with them? Sometimes they can take a friend.
They didn't. It was it was a special event. So they actually had to go to the park like at a special time.
Oh, got it.
So like
got it.
they couldn't bring anybody else in. But it was funny because both of them, they don't know each other at all. We know them from totally different circles. But they both went at the same time. They both went at the same time. And so we saw them at two different times and like knew that they had both ridden it. And so they didn't know what the other person had said or whatever. And we asked them, both said the exact same thing. They both said it was a cute ride. That is a ride that is kid-centered. It is centered on kids. That is what that ride is about.
And World Showcase needs that.
Yeah.
Let's be real. World Showcase needs that. Yeah. They do not have enough of that kind of stuff in it. So it is a good addition.
Yeah. They have Frozen
and I like that ride. That ride that's a great ride. But it is cute. It's cute. It's cute, except it creeps me out that their faces are not the same color as their skin. Creeps me out.
I had never ridden it. This is my first time riding it.
Did you not notice that?
No, I totally noticed it. My friend Ron that went with us is like the world's biggest Frozen fan. Like, just loves it. He loves Frozen. He's like, Olaf is like his spirit animal, and he just gushed the whole time. He loved it so much.
And I understand it's a great ride, and it has some really good moments in it. It really does. When Elsa's singing "Let It Go." That's a great moment. I just can't get past the fact that their faces don't match their skin tone.
Right.
On their arms and their hands and stuff. It really creeps me out. And I'm always like, come on. You spent so much money on this and you couldn't match that?
Well, and I think that it's like,
and nobody noticed
when you're programming the projections on the monitor, right? And you're looking at it in comparison to like what their skin tone is on the animatronic. you probably like wherever you're like on the monitor, it looks like it matches. But when you're in the ride and the light of the projector,
that's right,
and the darkness, those are not, they probably match.
And the lighting, just the lighting in general, because the projector that they use in their head is one thing, but also then there's outside lighting. So it's like they didn't take that into consideration. Okay, we could talk about this forever because it really bothers me. It's a detail that I think that they missed, and it really bothers me because nobody could have gone through that. And I mean, all the people that ride that while they're working on it, somebody had to have noticed. Come on.
So we're probably just like, we got to open this.
I think that's exactly what it was. Got to open. Got to open. Maybe with a refurb, they'll get that all fixed.
Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows?
In the meantime, it's fine.
In the meantime. All right. So Disney has begun selling annual passes again for Walt Disney World. And we're going to talk a little bit about this. And I'm basically, what I want to do is I don't want to have a full-blown discussion about this because there could be a full-blown discussion about this. Have you looked at these yet? These levels? Yeah. So there could be a full-blown discussion about it. I don't want to do it. It is basically the same levels as what they had before. It is basically the same tier setup as it was before. So if you are familiar with the platinum, the gold, the silver, that idea, this isn't a whole lot different. So let me just read to you. I'm just going to read. So let's talk about the 4 levels. The first level, the top level, is called the Disney Incredipass. It's the Disney Incredipass. Now, this pass is going to cost you $12.99. That's $1,299 plus tax, or $99 a month for 12 months after a down payment of $205 if you're a Florida resident. Only for Florida residents. The Incredipass has no blackout dates, and guests can have 5 park reservations at a time. That does not include if you have have a reservation, like you're staying at the resort, your 5, that doesn't include those 5, right? So you're not limited to 5. If you have like a 10-day stay, you still get to make reservations for 10 days.
Right.
So, current pass holders can renew the pass for $1,104. That is a significant jump in price.
Oh, yeah.
And they took some things away. PhotoPass is not included in that. And PhotoPass was always included in Fast Passes before. It is now a $99 add-on. So now your $1,299 pass is what? It's $13.98, right? And if you want to add the water parks, it's another $99. And so now you're up to $14.97. That's getting really pricey. That's getting really pricey. Yeah, I'm just like, it's way pricey. So the next level is the Disney Sorcerer Pass. This pass will be $899 or $63 per month after a $205 down payment for Florida. All the down payments are $205. I don't want to repeat that every time. So after the down payment for Florida residents, it does have some blackout dates, and those blackout dates tend to be around Christmas and around spring break. This Disney Sorcerer Pass is only available to Florida residents and Disney Vacation Club members. Let me say that again. It's only available to Florida residents and Disney Vacation Club members. Now, this is the pass that I get, right? And the renewal for this pass is $764. That renewal is $200 more than it used to be. And that still does not include PhotoPass. Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's some things I get and some things that honestly, I watched the Diz and they talked about it this week a little bit. Yeah. And Pete Werner actually said, he's like, you know what? I understand the price hikes. I understand this. The PhotoPass, the memory maker, taking that away, it's just mean. It's just mean. Like that's really all it is. It's not, it doesn't benefit.
They're not losing any money. They're not losing any money.
Yeah, there's no reasoning behind it. It's just mean. And
those PhotoPass people are standing there, whether they're taking pictures or not, and they are digital pictures, and it costs them nothing for those pictures. except to pay that person that's standing there, and he's standing there anyway.
Anyway, right. Exactly.
Yeah,
so,
I agree. It's just mean. It's just mean-spirited. Yeah, he's exactly right. I need to go back and watch that episode because he's exactly right.
Should. You should watch that episode because it some really awesome points were made on that specific episode, I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in the Disney community are kind of taking a step back and going, what's going on here?
And here's the thing, right? Disney is a business, first and foremost. Disney is a business. They are a publicly traded company.
That's right.
And they do have a responsibility to their shareholders.
Yeah, I get all of that. I totally get that.
I get that. But when they report their earnings quarterly, and they're realizing that people are going to stop buying tickets for a company that makes these mean-spirited decisions, right? That's where it's going to get hit. They're going to get hit. And I agree. You can't. And something that that they talked about on the This to This Week was this idea of like they're a business and they're making their decisions based on analytics. They're making their decisions based off of money, off of numbers, off of statistics and analytics. But you can't use analytics to make emotional decisions or to make decisions that will affect people emotionally.
That's right. And it actually reminds me of how they were running Disney in the 70s. Mm-hmm. It's very similar that they had kind of lost their way. They didn't know, what direction to go because they didn't have that vision of where are we going, that creative vision, because that is what drives Disney. And that's what drives people to Disney. That's what drives them to Disney. It is not, it's not Memory Maker, but it's mean that you took it away to the people that love you the most, right?
That's the thing.
It's the people that love it the most.
People are so loyal to Disney. It's such a huge part. I mean, we talk about being homesick. We talk about feeling like missing it so much. People are very emotionally attached to Disney and their memories of Disney. And it's basically like saying to your most loyal fan base, like, thank you for your loyalty. Now
we're going to squeeze a little bit more out of you. Yeah, we're going to squeeze a little bit more out of you. At least parking is still included. At least they included parking.
Yeah, that's good.
Thank God.
But it's like, and again, that the decisions that don't make any sense, that don't really hurt you in any way to keep them. Why? And
it's not like Disneyland, and it's not like Disneyland where most of the people that are there are annual pass holders. That is not the case at Walt Disney World. No. That's not the way Walt Disney World works.
But that's the thing, and that's what's very apparent is you can tell that they are making their decisions based off of the family that's like, let's take the kids to Disney World. All the kids should go to Disney World. Let's take the kids to Disney World. Don't know anything about it. Go on the website, book a trip, go for a week, never go again.
That's right.
Those are the people that they're thinking about.
And they're thinking about the higher end of those people too.
Right.
They're thinking about the 1%. They're thinking about the 1%ers is what they're thinking about. So,
and it's disheartening.
Yeah, it is hurting a lot of people. So let's go on because there's still two more passes that we haven't talked about. We've already talked about it more than I actually wanted to talk about it, but that's okay because it's a good conversation. I'm glad that we got that out. The third pass is the Disney Pirate Pass. This is a $699 plus tax pass, or $45 a month for 12 months after your down payment. It is only for Florida residents. And it only includes 4 park reservations at a time. As I said, it is not, it has nothing to do with if you're staying at the resort. Those don't count against that. So, and current pass holders can renew to this pass for $594. Again, notice that there's no Memory Maker, on that. It's not on any of them. So, and then the last one is the Disney Pixie Dust Pass. And this is going to cost $399 plus tax or $19 a month for 12 months after your down payment. It includes 3 park reservations and the most blackout dates. It is also only available to Florida residents. So basically what this pass is you can go during the week. No weekends, no holidays. I mean, you can look at what those calendars are, but that's basically it. It's just weekdays. You know, they cut out the weekends and they've cut out all the holidays are gone, including spring break. So, and like I said, these are pretty typical, right?
Yeah.
So it is not, it's the same tiering system that they had before. They've just upped the price and taken some things away, right? So you can choose some different, it's like I said, you can choose some different options. You can do the water park and sports option and the photo pass download option. These add-on options will be available for purchase with any of the 4 passes. You know, and you enjoy pass holder perks. You do get discounts, you know, theme park, you know, standard theme park parking and discounts on merchandise and dining. So that is all the same. But the thing that people love the most is what they took away.
Right.
At least I always loved it. And I am not a photo. I don't care. Like I go enough that photo passes, you know, the memory maker is not really important to me, but it can be a lot of fun. It can be a lot of fun.
Oh, one of our friends that met up with us there is an annual pass holder, and it was great because he was able to just send us all our photos because we were like, we had all our ride photos and he was just sending them all to us. He was like,
well,
here
that's
you go.
That's just it. You can't get your ride photos. You have to pay for those now. And you know, I agree with Pete Warner. It is just mean-spirited, mean-spirited. Yeah, it's just mean. I agree. You know, and I don't always agree with what Pete has to say. Sometimes I think he's a grumpy old man, crotchety old man.
I think he would agree with you on that, though.
Yeah, exactly. But that's also why we love him. That's why we love you, Pete. We love you. And that's exactly why we love you. Because you're honest. You just lay it out. But he's exactly right. I think it's just mean-spirited. So, like I said, I'm putting together a video now of what Disney is doing with all their pricing and all the money changes that are happening, because there's a significant amount changing, and I think a lot of people are not completely aware of everything that's going on. And I want to just get my opinion out. I just feel I need to voice my opinion. You know, I think, I think it's important. So, you know, but that's the last piece of news. That is all the news for the week. Unless you have something. Do you know of anything?
Nope. You've covered pretty much. Like I said, I've read up on the stuff that you sent me, and everything else I'm just kind of like, I don't want to know if I miss it, and it's making me sad. And
it's true. It's true. So, hey, let us know what you think about what we've talked about tonight. Leave us, you know, a comment. You can go to thegoofyguy.com. Click on that podcast link. It'll take you right to our podcast. You can leave a comment with that podcast. You can go to Facebook, leave a comment under this live video because it'll be up on Facebook after we get done here. And then you can also go to YouTube, leave a comment. I'm going to post this video on YouTube. I'm not live streaming to YouTube anymore, but the video is going up onto YouTube. So it will be there. You can also find me on Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. It's The Goofy Guy. Thank you, Craig Ledoux. Craig Ledoux says, always interesting and informative. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Craig. He is a frequent listener. So, or you can email me, jim@thegoofyguy.com. So please feel free to reach out. I would love to hear what you have to say about all this, about the annual passes, about, you know, the 50th anniversary signage, whatever you want to talk about. I would love to hear from you and hear what you have to say. So, hey, Mandy, if they want to get a hold of you, how can they get a hold of you?
Just DM me on Instagram, Mandeye, Mandeye. That's pretty much it.
That's it. That's it. That is all of it. Hey, everybody, take care of each other. Make sure you check on your friends, your neighbors, your loved ones, even if you don't like your neighbors or if you don't like your loved ones. Check on them. Delta variant is still out there. It's still scary. And so, you know, make sure you're wearing a mask, especially indoors. You know, remember, I wear a mask for you, not for me. And last, but certainly not least, I think it's the most important thing is get vaccinated. You need to, we need to be taking care of it. Yes, it protects you, but you're also protecting everybody else by getting the vaccination. So so it's really important, really important. With that, make sure that if you're on the ferry to the Magic Kingdom, you don't start a brawl. Please don't. And no weapons to Tom Sawyer Island. That would be bad. And with that, I think that's everything. So say goodbye, Mandy.
Goodbye, Mandy.
We'll talk.